Yeah, I haven't, hold on just a second. Have you seen anything from IT?
That's right, it's percentage of the 9. That's, yeah, unbelievable.
Blind, yep, we're good. Yep.
Okay, we'll call this meeting of the Tourism Actually Tax Coordination Committee together. The first item of business, a motion to accept the minutes of the February 22nd, 2021 meeting. Do we have a motion?
I'll make it.
Motion by Supervisor Wild, second by Supervisor Merlino. Any discussions? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 3, action items. Resolution request. Resolution authorizing an agreement with the Lake Placid Advertisers Workshop Incorporated to host, support, and update website. Visit lakegeorge.com for up to 4 months in the amount of not to exceed $19,999, commencing May 1st, 2021. And what happened is we did put out an RFP. Is it RFP or bid? RFP for proposals to update the website, and none of them were found to be acceptable. So we're going to re-advertise for the RFP, and we need to continue on with Lake Placid Advertisers Workshop for up to 4 months hosting our website. So this is why we're doing this. Do I have a motion to get this on the floor? Nobody? Motion by Supervisor Marino, second by Supervisor Wow. Discussion. Anybody have any questions? Okay, I don't see any questions. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. All right. Resolution request to amend the contract to continue the contractual relationship with Adirondack Regional Tourism Council for regional marketing services. And this is a contract that we do every year, and we had to modify it. And I'm going to ask Joanne just to go into a little bit of detail why we're bringing this back.
At the last committee meeting, we did approve this agreement with ARTC for up to $10,000 for marketing services. My intention was to contract with Rove to provide the mobile tracking data that I had mentioned a number of times. When we went to pay this invoice, the recommendation from the county attorney was that we should tie it into the ARTC contract, since we were coordinating this agreement with the other 7 counties in ARTC, and we would pay it through that organization. So really, we just need to amend the amount so that we can pay the Rove agreement.
Okay, I need a motion to get this on the floor.
Mike Wild.
Supervisor Wild, second by Supervisor Stroud. Discussion. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, it's Mike. Joanne, you said this is $2,000 for this, right?
Correct.
A little over $2,200. It's $16,000 divided by 7 counties.
Okay, thank you. I'm all for this.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, we'll vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Carried. Okay. We had the Honorable Michael Swan. He has since disappeared. I don't know where he went. While we're waiting to find Mike, he was here.
I think he got too nervous about his appearance.
He's not, okay.
There he is.
Oh, there he is. Okay. Okay, Mike. Mike, you would like to give us a report on the revenues of OxyTex?
Well, I don't know. It really hasn't changed. We're still trying to close the books.
Okay.
And we're down about 15%, which is about $600,000. Like I said in February, sorry, I'm a little out of breath. I just ran up the stairs with the mask on. But that will improve by the time we close the books, which will be in about 2 weeks.
Okay.
All right. Now, I know that, and I don't know whether this is the time that you want to talk about it. I know that Supervisor Wild asked for some information from some other counties. I do have a little bit, if this is the time you want me to share
Sure,
it.
Mike, continue.
Okay. All the other counties are basically in the same position that we're in. They're still trying to close their books, so they don't have concrete figures that they really want to let out. But I do have a couple of things. Seneca County, they collect around $500,000 a year, and they're down almost 29%. Ontario County, they collect around $1 million. They're down about 6%. Tompkins County, their budget is around $3 million for occupancy tax, and they're down, but they don't have a percentage yet. Essex County is about $2.8 million. They're down also, but don't have a percentage yet. And that's about it for the counties that I could talk to. The other information, and this is kind of on the side, is most of the counties that I talk to have a 5% occupancy tax, where we have 4%. There's about 35 counties out there right now that have agreements with Airbnb. The ones that I talk to are not happy with their agreements. So I think we're holding our own on that as far as trying to push our point on that. So I think we're good there. Any questions?
Any questions for Mike on any of the spending subjects or the receipts?
Mr. Chairman, it's Mike. Just basically with the Airbnb negotiations, this is all about reporting and getting some type of certainty in terms of the money that they're sending us. Is that true, Mike?
Yeah, they don't want to account for anything that they send us. In other words, they just want to, whatever they collect, they're going to collect, and they're going to send us a check at quarterly or monthly, depending on how the arrangement works, without any accounting for it. And so we would basically have no idea whether or not we're getting what we should be getting, or even who it's coming from. And as much as I hated to do it this way, I think we are in the long term going to be better off with registering all of the short-term rentals and collecting it on our own, at least for now.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, just to follow on, and Mike, I'm not sure if you have to answer it, more of a statement. I'm sure Airbnbs have this data in their computer system somewhere in terms of where it comes from. So I'm surprised that they're not willing to share this. And I'm not sure what the deal is, but it appears as though either they're not collecting it on all the properties they should be, or they're charging a processing fee to take a percentage away. But this makes no sense at all to me, why they wouldn't share that data if they have that data available.
Well, if I may, I know that there are several communities, New York City is one of them, that have lawsuits and court cases pending against Airbnb specifically about the amount of dollars that are being collected and whether it's actually going to the municipality. So we're kind of just watching that, I guess, is for lack of a better term.
And Kevin? If you don't mind, Mike, do you think that's one of the reasons why you're not getting any further in your negotiations, because they may have to just update everything? Do we know what the status of those suits are?
I don't know. I'd almost like to defer to our legal department and the county attorney's office on that, but my gut feeling is that is part of it, yes.
Thanks, Mike. Thank you.
Supervisor Beatty?
Thanks, Kevin. Mike, so you said 30-something counties have contracts with Airbnb. So you're saying to me that all 30 counties do not get an individual breakdown, just one lump sum? Is that correct, or is it, or are any counties that you know of, are any counties getting a breakdown?
Not that I'm aware of. I can't say specifically for all of them, but not that I'm aware of.
Wow, that's troubling. You're right, Mike. That's troubling, and that leads one to believe. And I don't want to, put the cart ahead of the horse, but when a company like that does not give you an individual detailed breakdown, you can only surmise that there's reasons for it in a business sense that are advantageous to them, i.e. Airbnb, and they're not becoming forthright with all the information. That's disconcerting. So, yeah, I'm glad a few places are suing them. Maybe we look at down the road that we look at doing that. I don't know. But that's very disconcerting for sure. We got to just trust them, whatever they say.
Can I just interject one more thing here? Essex County, I don't know how to say this exactly, but they have never actually had contact with anyone from Airbnb. They received the contract in the mail, they signed it, sent it back, and they get a check every month. They have no contact information with Airbnb, nobody that they can speak with there at the organization. And, you know, our county attorney's office felt that maybe that's not the way we should be doing business.
Anybody would feel that way, right?
Thank you. Any other questions for Mike? I do know that the local, at least in my community, I know they are paying through Airbnb. I don't know what they're paying for, but I do know some of our short-term rentals are paying through Airbnb, and that's why it's important for every community to try to know how many short-term rentals they have so they can report the information to the treasurer's office. So if we can't get it through Airbnb, at least we can do it the fair way. Because I think a lot of the people who have the short-term rentals think Airbnb is paying the county now, and they're not. So anything else for Mike? Nope. Okay. Next on the Winterfest, I hope everybody got a chance to. I know Kristen Duncher is on board, and he gave us a very detailed analysis of the recent successful Winterfest. I want to thank him for all the hard work putting together, he and his committee, for all the hard work putting together the report. And Kristen, if you want to just take a second to do a quick recap of everything contained within the report, and I would ask everybody to read it at their leisure. There's a lot of documentation there, a lot of good information, and we certainly appreciate it on a county level, all the effort that was put in to make this a successful event. So thank you. Kristen, I'll let you have the floor.
Thank you, Supervisor. I just wanted to offer a couple of points of feedback. One is that as you can see, that report is data rich, and it was compiled by a number of parties, mostly hoteliers. Sam Luciano at the Fort William Henry was at the heart of that, and revealed a lot of very interesting things, specifically related to the potential losses that were avoided or mitigated or stemmed in February due to Winterfest. What's also notable, I think, is the number of people who it was their first time to the region because of Winterfest. It really shows that there's an opportunity for the region to market itself in a slightly different way in the winter months, perhaps to attract more of that type of visitor. I think it was something like 44% of the visitors were first time ever to the region. And last but not least, the program netted out approximately $40,000 in net profits, which I'll be writing a check and sending it to the county this week, which I'll be honest with you, is a lot bigger than I thought it would ever be. I thought it was going to net a small profit, and I'm delighted to see how successful it was. And it was successful in part because of people's flexibility and cooperation, and also we made some changes in midstream to help boost sales as we were running out of inventory for activities. So we made some changes internally that helped keep the sales strength going through the entire month. So it was a great experience, and I'm delighted to provide those net proceeds back to the county. I think it's unwarranted, unheard of.
Right. No, that was great. The information was good, and your comments about working with the Winter Carnival next year, that's important. So I think everybody working collaboratively is the way we need to do to promote the county better. So does anybody have any questions for Christian? Supervisor Wild.
Thank you very much. Christian, thanks again, man. This is awesome, and we've talked through the process, and I know you bent over backwards to make it happen. But I'm thinking more towards the future right now. And do we have any sense what type of investment the county may need to make next year to support a similar event? And whether you have, and I'm going to stretch this out a little bit, whether or not you have any ideas for other off-season type of activities like this.
Yeah, both really good questions. The first is, though on this report it shows the investment that was made through a lot of donations of various people's efforts. That's a big number, and I don't think it has to be that number in the future. I think that that number is a reflection of the very short timeline that we had and the inefficiencies that come from rapidly putting a program together, as well as so much was learned about what worked and what didn't. And if and when, whether I'm involved or not, I'm happy to help provide what we learned to the necessary parties. It can be done in a way in which it drives the cost down in future years. So though we've got numbers on the page that talk about the total investment in the program, those are legitimate. I think the number can be substantially less in the future. And this is just a February only program. So whatever costs there are in the future, half of that cost probably is a sunk cost just to set up the program, whether it's a month long or 3 months long. So the return on the incremental monthly cost drops significantly when you spread it over more than just 1 month. And one of the things that we learned, to answer your second question, is people by and large wanted to escape the realities of COVID, wanted to have a little bit of normality. And the second point is something that I think will hold true regardless of what's going on with COVID. People want a low threshold experience. They want to be able to make an easy decision, so all the information is contained. It's an appealing sales proposition. That sales proposition is, let's go do something. Let's engage in this other environment like George Region, and do something that doesn't require a heavy lift. The skiers, they're already satisfied with going to Coord Mountain. They know their sources of information. They've already made the big investment in time and money. But the people who want to come up and just have sort of an Instagram weekend where they can take a picture of themselves on the horse and carriage ride and go ice skating in the public rinks, that's, I think, the thrust of what Winterfest is. That can last December, January, and February, and perhaps a little bit more. And there are absolutely additional activities that could be added to that. Right now, we were sending people all the way up to Mirror Lake to do dog sled rides. That was hugely popular, but it's outside of Warren County. It's also a fair hike to get up there and back. That was a very popular thing. If that could be done regionally within Warren County, that'd be great. Snowmobiling rides, those were very popular. They take place in Chestertown, so that worked well for Warren County. But again, low threshold, easily engaged moments where they can do it, be done, low risk, and have a memory to exit the weekend with. So those are the types of things that could be expanded upon definitely for next year. And there are more.
Thank you. Any other questions for Kristen? Seeing none, thank you again for all your efforts and your team's efforts. It really proved to be a great event for Warren County. So thank you very much.
Our pleasure. Thank you.
Okay. Next, Oxy-Tax spending plan. We're continue to work on a spending plan for Oxy-Tax. We're not there yet. We really have to wait till Mike closes the books in the treasurer's office. Once we get a handle on how much money we're either ahead or behind in Oxy-Tax, we'll be able to put together a spending plan, an auxiliary spending plan like we promised. One of the things I would suggest is that if people come to you as a committee member or any town within the county, have them make out an application, forward it here to the county, or you can keep it at the town level, but just don't discourage any applications. We certainly will entertain every one of them. The application was also put on the county website. It's also on the treasurer's website. So if you get an idea, somebody brings you an idea, have them make out an application and get it to us. And I know time is running short, but we will get together and review all the applications. Any questions about that?
Sorry,
Supervisor
Kevin.
Wild.
Mike again. Sorry, Kevin. I'm wondering, it seems like every year, and I don't have a huge experience, but we get applications and requests for funds after we've already done our spending plan. Is there any thought in terms of maybe keeping a little bit of reserve for a special event that might create an opportunity for us to do something new?
Yeah, we're going to have that discussion, Mike. You know, this year's 2021 budget, there's not a lot of money in the plan set aside for the other events. Hopefully, when we do see how we shook out for the year on funding, we'll have some money available for anybody who comes in late with a good event that needs to be funded. First, we got to get the applications. We got to get the dollars and cents so we know where we can go. And I think that's our plan. And then it may be a little bit of a moving target. If it's a good event and it's something that the county wants to promote, we should do it if we can. Well, you have to be prudent, you know, and we need applications sent down here to us so we can review them. The committee, I hope to get the committee together so they can review any of the distribution of funds.
Thanks, Kevin.
Yeah, any other questions? Okay. I believe on pending items, the first one has been addressed by the treasurer. Is there anything else to come in front of the committee today? Anything by anybody? Not seeing any questions or concerns. I'll ask if Mr. Lehman, do you have any comments on the YouTube?
Hi, Chairman Garrity. There's nothing on YouTube as of now.
Okay, then Supervisor Chairwoman Seaver. Excuse me.
Rachel's perfect. Thanks, Kevin. I just wanted to say thank you. I know this has been a lot of work over the last several months, and particularly to our tourism department and to the CVB as well. The community has spent a lot of time talking with many of us about what occupancy tax and tourism looks like moving forward. One of the discussions that came out of that was perhaps having the CVB send their quarterly reports directly to the committee members, and to also give an update quarterly at the committee when we meet. And I know you've been responsive to that, and I appreciate that. That is one of the ways that they're hoping to also share, you know, the work they're doing, and then complement that, of course, every month with the hard work from our tourism department. And thank you for making that application available and getting that out there, because I do think, to Supervisor Wild's point, that there is an opportunity to look at those new events and some seed, you know, looking at, as Supervisor Merlino so many times highlighted, you know, that idea of new events and sunset provisions, and how do we help support that. So I think there's lots of exciting things moving forward with it, and just wanted to compliment your efforts on it.
Okay. Also, just to give you an update on the RFP, the county staff has signed off on the RFP. We're just waiting for the hospitality group. I believe they're waiting for Mark to get back and give his okay on what's been presented. Then the RFP will be put out shortly. Nothing else, and nobody commenting online. Yes, Mr. Wild?
Yeah, sorry, Kevin, thank you for the opportunity again, but I'm just going back through the agenda, and I recognize that I didn't get a chance to speak because I was on mute about the website. And I'm curious if we know of how many other counties have multiple websites for their tourism. So, and the reason why I'm saying that, the CVB has a website, the Lake George Chamber has a website, some of the businesses have a website, we have a website, pretty much all promoting our region. And is there a way that we might be able to find a way to combine those instead of Warren County doing our own thing? Why don't we leverage some of our existing resources that we have already in the county? Just a thought, but I'd like to see as we go forward with that analysis to see if we can possibly save some money for us and the business community by combining forces.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? A motion to adjourn then. Do I have a motion to adjourn? by Supervisor Beatty, second by Supervisor Moreno. Thank you, we are adjourned.